Guard Rippy over to Kaufman Park, Dublin, Ohio, September the 20th after lunch at the Dublin Pet Fair, which Dublin has the Irish, and they had an Irish festival here and it wore the grass then. The Dublin Irish. These guys have a karate school and a dog rescue, which is a pet fair and it's mainly dogs. I did see one cat here. There's people here that take photography of your pet. So this is for rehoming, bulldog rescues. He's got ice. They're going to have an ice tub and a kiddie pool, which they used to have like a truckload of ice. And I come for the agility, but we think that the Southern Ohio canines aren't active this year. I went to West Liberty over Labor Day, and it was a different name, the agility. But over there's vaccinations, and I'm not sure how far, but there are lines. So I would come early to get in line, and they do more than vaccinations over there. I'm not sure if they do the spay or neuter, but there are veterinarians that are here. This is a Christian Canine Academy, and I said, you know, I thought a canine was what finds the drug dogs. They have some of that here. They have CBD products for pets. There's a golden retriever only over here, but I'm just going to do a quick overview because the show's trying to come back. Here's a hunting dog. The Ohio State University set up over here. Pet FBI, grounded by internet, whatever that is, to track your dog on the internet. The pet butlers here that cleans up after your pets at your house. Stray cat. This is a cat booth, so that's the first one of those I've seen here that I remember, but they're up under the canopy. I think they have weddings, and they do. There's more event centers out here. Kaufman Park. These are pretty. She's got a nice dog too. I don't want to walk up on these people with cameras. It's like to get the deer in the headlights. Get creeped out. But this is a photography one. She's got like the lone cat. It's kind of a scary looking cat. I know my dog doesn't like cats. She has some cat stuff. The dogs in the holidays. Little banners. Some fun stuff. Some pets. But there's a couple photographers here. This is compounding pharmacy. I'm not sure how that feeds into pets, but the pet, they have prescriptions for pets. Not sure. Humane World, the university here, and they had the Farm Science Review this week. This is where they do the ice usually. Well, they have water this year. I'm not sure what I was up at. Baked goods, they have dog treat galore here. I was going up over by the yard. I'm not going back to my car that way. A Frenchie. I was hoping to see some Burmese and a Dalmatian and a Corgi. Pet Palace. These guys are boarding pets. There's a few people, and these guys are too. And there's the pet butler that cleans up after the pet. There's a realtor, the Howard and Hannah. Well, at least their tent is. They have pet stuff. He's got a neat setup. He got several people over here. Some nice looking treats. Your local dog food experts. It's kind of a neat vendor. Delivering. He delivers over by my house. Like there's salad people, and this guy was parked over where I am. We seen him walking earlier. But these guys, she had beaver. He has, what's it called? Kangaroo from Australia. Lamb ears. I thought those had dried mushrooms. And I asked her if she had sticks and bricks, and they're from Cleveland. Duck. Beaver turkey. Esophagus from cattle. And then she says they mostly resell to other stores, but I asked her if she sold to any zoos. And that's what you'd want to get, a zoo contract, and you'd have to wait for someone else to give up theirs probably. That after lunchtime. It's a silly puppy. Just a quick overview of the, show some Frenchies. I thought he was making donuts. He's making waffles, I'm guessing. I can't very well walk around there. You can smell the hot oil in there. They're throwing batter in there. Ash and Older, that was the name of her 2 dogs. I asked her where she got that name. But she's got some cute pet photography. Wow, there's a Great Dane over there. What's this one? There's a golden. Toys. There's a cattle dog. Neat bags. I'm seeing several bags. Nah, that's a wild, like an Italian. It's a cattle dog. She had. There's a 4-H one. But yeah, the flying canines are out. These guys are going to have races, I remember. But this got washed out last year, and so this year's a comeback. Something from the Delaware County that entails pets. There's a lady back there. She had cups and bowls that were hand fired and handmade. She's cute, isn't she? She's got like an outfit on. It's a show dog. She's got her outfit on to match. Tri-State Collie Rescue. Hi. Some handbag. Okay, cosmetics. Does that pet play into pets? But here's this wishing tree. And they haven't been washed off from the rain. And then we're in Dublin, Kaufman Park, at the wishing tree. It says, read a few for fun, random, unedited. I want Mama and Papa to be my friends forever. People, PPL, misspelled, around me learned to love Christ. Gonna fade it out one there. I wish Christine will be my GF girlfriend. They spell like they're on their phone. For living time, a lifetime. Here's one more darker. These must be some pretty small kids. I've seen some funny ones. Usually they're washed out, but I wish to see my friend. Oops. From camp again. That's cool. They're all cool. I thought they'd get kind of, you know, provocative, and they do. These are kind of lame so far. I wish I lost $1 million for a horse. I wish I had $1 million for a horse. Dollars. I wish I had $1 million for a horse. That's cool. But there's this basalt, so the pond's all stagnant, and we're combining And there's just so much construction, but it settles in the ponds. So the pond's all ugly now. I wish for Coach GN to pick me, to like me. I wish for Coach GN to like me. The mean coach. Come on, Coach. Something about house tomorrow. Over to the pet Dublin pet it's not a show, pet fair. I wish I could meet Harry Potter. Yeah, I didn't make that up, man. So anyway, I want to look at this basalt. It's from the Columbia River, and there's some bronze. The rock's on the bottom and the bronze is on top, and he stuck the bronze into the basalt. There's the ugly pond. Be a good spot to put the dogs, but I think there's another art piece over here, an iron. There's some metal art, beautiful. And then there's like an observatory building over here. They used to have a pet jail, and this place I'd be hopping in. You could bring the bad misbehaving dogs over to the pet jail. You're at our pet show, but that's metal on top stuck into the basalt. I think it's called basalt and steel. It's called injection. A steel base followed by basalt and topped with a bronze. So there's steel at the bottom, the plate, and the basalt, which is the rock from the banks of the Columbia River, clear out in Washington State or something. Frequented trips to Italy. Bronze, basalt, steel. That's kind of what I called it, but he's called it an injection. So that's kind of cool. And then it has cool lines on top. I'll look at them before. From 2007, and it was purchased. So you kind of wonder what the value was on something like that. But that's what I call it. Bronze, basalt, steel. That would be cool to put something like that together. And there is a crack forming right there. Well, it looks like one anyways. But that basalt has like a graphite look inside. Which chipped it. Interesting patination. And this is where the copper was poured, or this is from the pour. And it stuck to the mold a little bit. They've let it weather naturally. That would shine right up like a mirror. This has been polished at one time over here. You can get that brass smell. There's more iron to the base here. Tyration, I think that's what it's called. From Los Gatos, California. Tyration, wasn't that the name of it? It looked like it said injection. Tradition. Which is probably pretty lucky to have that in the park over here. They have some cool stuff. Dublin Pet Fair, Sunday, September the 20th. Thanks again.